Okay, hi everyone. A warm welcome from the Training Academy to this We Love Golf webinar. My name is Tim Bamber. I am the Member Education Coordinator here at the PGA, and I am joined by Jonathan Wright, the Golf Development Executive for the PGA, and Nicole Wheatley, who is a Director of Mediate, a marketing communications agency. Jonathan, Nicole, welcome. Welcome to the webinar.
Thank you. Hi, Tim.
Hi.
So this webinar is really designed to provide some more information about the We Love Golf campaign, to highlight some upcoming plans, future events, and to basically explain how people can get involved. Jonathan and Nicole are very much involved within the campaign, so they are perfect to provide this insight. Okay, so we'll start off with the first part. So Jonathan, if you could explain what is We Love Golf, and how did it come about?
Perfect. Well, Tim, thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about We Love Golf. We very much appreciate it. I guess a little while ago, the PGA asked members to provide some feedback on lots of things, what the PGA was doing well, what we could do better at. And one of the really strong messages that came out from that was that the PGA members wanted us to take a much more leading role in developing the game. I guess in the past, it's not to say we hadn't done that, but we'd done it through partnerships possibly, and we'd supported projects. But the message was very, very clear for members that the PGA should be taking a leading role in this. So that was the first thing. I guess there was another kind of a sub point to that in some ways, that was that PGA members definitely wanted the PGA to promote their activity, to showcase their skills and to show the world what they could really do. And to me, those two things go very much hand in hand. I think we definitely want to do more to promote the game, and the best way to do that is by showing the skills of the PGA Pro. So I guess we had this feedback from members, and we obviously decided to act upon it. And in April 2018, a new position was created, which is Golf Development Executive, which is the position I'm now fortunate to undertake, with the task of really doing those two things, playing more of a leading role in the development of the game. So I'd worked in coaching mainly for the previous decades, frightening to say a decade, but a decade. So I was quite familiar with golf development work that was going on, particularly in England, where I was really based. So I had a few thoughts about where the PGA could go, and we started a conversation with Nicole and Mediate about what we could do in this area. So it didn't take us very long. So we kind of started in April 2018, and by May 2018, We Love Golf was launched.
Oh, wow.
So it didn't take us long.
Not at all.
I guess one thing to kind of make clear is that although the campaign is very much based around women and girls at the moment, that's not to say that members who don't necessarily work in those areas could get involved, and we'll hopefully tell you later on how specifically you can get involved. But it was always our intention, I guess, that this would be a wide-ranging campaign, and although we're focused on women and girls at the moment, there are other areas and other markets that we definitely want to look at as well.
Yeah, we've left it very broad, haven't we, in terms of the brand, so that other areas can be pulled into it.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. But I think it's worth kind of just going over though why we thought that women and girls was a good place to start. So I mean, if you look at society at the moment, and particularly sports, there's a very high profile to women's participation. There's a very high profile to women's involvement in sport, right across the board. So there seems to me definitely something happening here that we need to tap into as golf, and it would be a really massive opportunity missed if we didn't take part in this movement that's going on. So that's the first thing. There's a lot going on around women's sport. I think the second thing is that last year we were having discussions with the R&A about their Women in Golf Charter, and which was just launched last year, and the PGA is a signatory to the charter, and we're very much committed to the charter. And one of the things we've committed to specifically is to, try and grow the women's game. So again, it's another good reason to kind of get involved and start with of golf in this kind of area. So that's the kind of almost what I describe as the philosophical angle. We should get involved. It's the right thing to do. There's something going on here. Let's get involved. I think possibly the other angle here, and which may be more important to PGA pros on the ground, is that I just look at a massive business opportunity. So, if you look at, roughly speaking, across Great Britain and Ireland, golf club membership, and this is not all golfers clearly, but in terms of golf club members, there's around about 15% of them are women. Now, when you look at other countries across the world, and obviously they have different environments and different cultures, but you'll see a very even split between genders. So, to me, this is a massive opportunity. If we could retain the men that we've got, and if we could grow that 15% of women to to 30% to 45%, that would be fantastic. And these are all golf consumers. They're going to consume coaching, they're going to buy equipment, they're going to need to be fitted, they're going to want to buy shoes, they're interested in what to wear. So there's lots of opportunities there. So I guess for all those reasons, the women's market appeared to be one which was the first one we should address. But from that starting point, what we really needed to do, I guess, is understand what success might look like. So, over the last number of months, Nicole and I and the people we work with, we've been talking to women, and it's quite clear that women are interested in golf, and they want to play. But when you look at club membership, it's at 15%. So there's something in the middle here between a wish to try it out, going through all the way to women taking part. There's something kind of missing in the middle, and that's really where we started with Nicole to try and identify, through some case studies, exactly what good practice looks like and what success might look like.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I know you've developed and have heard about these case studies around good practice. So could you perhaps talk a bit more about them in terms of what have they shown and what have you learned from them? Really, that goes to both of you, I guess.
Yeah, I think what's really interesting for me is that we began with kind of some preconceived ideas. I mean, my background's very much in marketing, but I am also the target market for the campaign. So when I started speaking to PGA members, I've made some assumptions which proved to be wrong. So, for instance, I thought that maybe their success was in changing their coaching techniques. It turned out that the best way to coach women is exactly the same way you would coach men. But what we did really find out that was really important to everything that we've done is that friendship groups are what keep people coming back to golf. So we started off by doing case studies. We've spoken in total now to around 50 different PGA members, and that includes members who work abroad. So we've got case studies from China, Latvia, Canada, all sorts of places. But in the UK, predominantly what was happening is that the pros were marketing their taster sessions, free taster sessions, to their local community. Some of them were using social media to promote the campaigns, and they'd run a free taster session at the golf club, kind of targeting non-golfing spouses and friends. And they get women along to a free taster session in groups. The majority of them were inviting the lady members to come along and meet the new group, and they would be the ones who would invite them into the golf club, who would offer them a follow-on offer, which was generally around group sessions. So they'd be offering them a really reasonable rate for group sessions of 6 to 8 lessons. And at the end of that period, they had a transitional offer in place that would lead them into membership. So it was all about having the pathway ready and having the club engaged in the process. And that's really what delivered the most successful campaigns. What we did find as well is using things like WhatsApp, so creating groups of the new players together, gave them the opportunity to form friendship groups. I think there's been a lot of talk in the recent years about social golf and offering cake and prosecco to entice women into the golf club. But what we really found was giving women the space to get to know each other through the group sessions was the most important and powerful piece. And that's kind of helped us create a pathway which we believe will work in terms of helping members recruit and retain women in the golf club.
Yeah, that's excellent. You know, and I think that's a really pertinent point. You do see a lot of kind of cake and coffee mornings that have been put on, and I guess the most pertinent factor is it's really just that environment, isn't it, for them to get to know each other, to speak to each other, and you know, invest themselves in golf. So.
Sorry, some of the members that I spoke to as well said that the group sessions work particularly well because women don't like being watched. So they were quite happy to be given a task to do. So say whether it's chipping or trying to putt in groups and then leaving them to do it. And that also gave them the opportunity, the space to make friendships. So the pro was kind of a facilitator almost. And the women would really encourage each other. So they would celebrate each other's successes. And it was just kind of, it's really interesting to kind of learn about the different styles and techniques that people have done. But we certainly, there's that whole group philosophy which seems to work. And we'd even get situations whereby, you know, one lady maybe didn't turn up for a couple of weeks and the other ladies would be like trying to find out she was okay. And they could see this going on. So whether this was kind of through a Facebook page or WhatsApp, just using a communication, like a modern communication tool to monitor them and kind of nurture them through this process. So if someone was really struggling or wasn't enjoying it, then the pro was able to actually pick up on that quite quickly.
Yeah, that's
excellent.
It's
an interesting point, Nicole, and just kind of picking up on that, because you know there's a little bit of time and effort required from the PGA Pro in kind of getting this group together. It's almost kind of like that cycle of, you know, forming, norming, storming, performing kind of thing. You know, the PGA Pro gets them together, facilitates the social bit, but gradually as time goes by, those groups are then, you know, managed by the women themselves, and you know, the PGA Pro can step back a little bit, and that group can, you know, become a self-sufficient group in some ways, and then, you know, the coach can then go on to the next group in some ways and start to put them together. So, you know, it's in interesting dynamics, but the social bit is really critical.
Yeah, and I think with some of the other members that I've spoken to as well, where they've managed the groups really well, they've become an integral part of this friendship group. I was chatting to one guy in Wales who he's been to at least 3 weddings from the beginner golfers that he's taught over the last 12 months. And then there's other ones who kind of, you know, they've managed the group so well that they now take them on golfing holidays. So there's all these additional kind of business opportunities for the members by maintaining that group format.
Yeah, excellent. So obviously, I mean, you've talked about some of the ways in which this can be a success, and I've seen that you're looking to develop some resources which will cover this information. When will they be available? Will they be, and what kind of mediums will they be kind of coming out in for members?
There's a few things that we're doing. So I think the first thing we should really talk about is the pilot projects we ran last year, because that's where the resource kind of started from. So in November last year, by November last year, and I know it was only kind of 6 months into the whole campaign, we'd identified this really clear pathway. So through local PR and social media, we could recruit women into a free taster session, then offer them group sessions, which would lead them to a transitional membership. So we were approached by 2 very different locations who wanted to work with us. They'd seen what we were doing through the Facebook pages, and they kind of understood that we had a way to market golf to women in a very different way. So we worked with Reigate Heath Golf Club on one project and Top Golf on the other. But the application and delivery was exactly the same. So we did local press, so a press release out to the local newspaper with a picture of the pro with the details of when the free taster session would take place. We listed the event on Facebook, on our Wheel of Golf pages, but also on theirs. And then we did some social media advertising. Now, the social media advertising element of it was really interesting for us because the boosted posts that we did, the first set didn't work very well. And we worked out that by using pictures of people playing golf, we actually put people off. So we changed the photograph to one of women chatting, and the interaction engagement with the second post was completely different.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. So the pilot projects both took place within 2 days of each other, as it turned out. And at Topgolf, we had 60 women turn up on a wet and cold Wednesday afternoon. It was horrific. And these women had never played golf. And they'd come after work with their friends. They were better than they thought they would be. They had a really good time. They were saying back to us all the things that we believed about women. And what we learned was that they'd never had the opportunity to try golf. These weren't golf club members. They had no connection or traditional connection to a golf club. And of those women, the majority of them signed up and have carried on going back to Topgolf to have lessons there, and then they're going to be fed into the local golf club at the end of their kind of beginner sessions. Now, the one at Reigate Heath Golf Club is incredible. The pro was really struggling to attract any women to the golf club, and we managed to get 10 women come along on a Saturday morning. They took part in the taster session. 100% of them signed up to the group sessions. Now, they've just finished their first set of group sessions. All of them have signed up to the second set of group sessions starting on the 9th of March. And he is so confident in the pathway that we've created and the marketing campaign that he's actually run one on his own using the templates that we provided. And he's launching a brand new ladies session on Saturdays, starting, I think, in a week's time. But these 10 women have just stayed. They've stayed and they've played and they've grown. And he's now feeling like he can do this on his own. And that's where the resources have been developed. So we're creating a toolkit which will have instructions on how to create Facebook pages, on how to do social media advertising. And we'll have templates for posters, for press releases. And we're quite happy to help as well. You know, if people don't know their local newspaper, we can find the contact for them of who it should go to and tell them how to list things on what's on pages. So it will be basically a marketing campaign. How you coach is up to you. I'm not a golf coach. That's not my background. My skills are in presenting golf in a completely different way that makes it more attractive to women. I think one of the most important things I've kind of struck on in the last kind of 6 months or so is if you ask a man how his round of golf was, he'll tell you about that difficult putt on the 18th or that amazing drive that he did, and he'll take you through his round step by step. If you ask a woman how a round of golf was, she'll tell you that Susan was there and that Jack's doing really well at school. She'll tell you what she had for lunch. She'll tell you what the weather was like. But that's the whole point. We need to promote golf to women in the way that women enjoy golf. And it's not about having a handicap, being a great player. It's about the leisure opportunity that it brings. And that's what we've struck on with We Love Golf, and that's what we're going to help members achieve themselves.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's really refreshing to hear. And I think that the campaign on a whole sounds it's really exciting. I think for women's golf. So you've touched upon this already, and the question's there really on the screen. So if I wanted to get involved, or a member wanted to get involved, how could they? What would they need to do?
Yeah, so there's lots of different things. I mean, the one thing that I would say is I would encourage any member to follow our Facebook page. What we've tried to do by setting up the Facebook page is to create a community. And what we realised is that if you went onto the internet in April last year and you looked for anything to do with golf, you would have to go to about 10 different places to find all the information you needed. And we, as an industry, tend to talk about golf in terminology that people don't actually understand. So, for instance, I was looking at something the other day and it was talking about the Saturday roll-up, and this was a beginner's program. Yeah, you can take part in our Saturday roll-up. People don't know what that means. So a lot of the content on We Love Golf PGA is demystifying and explaining what actual terms mean, like the difference between the T's and the T, what a driver is. We talk about around the majors, we explain what they were, we explained what match play was around the Ryder Cup. It's just taking golf back to its bare basics, but you can share that as a member with your beginners. It's a way of having that communication tool, of having something content-wise in place that you can just share with your members, share with the golf club. You know, everyone wants to learn a little bit about golf, and nobody's doing it in a very concise way. We'd also encourage you to follow our new Twitter and Instagram feeds, which are at We Love Golf PGA. Again, we're sharing similar content through there, and these can all create a profile for you as well. You know, we're all about sharing the love.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's great. You know, the thing I really like about this is there's so many avenues and so many options that members have to engage with this campaign, which is fantastic. And it's not constrictive. It's very open. Yeah, and I think it's only going to go one way. So that's excellent. So what's next? What's next for We Love Golf?
Sky's the limit. So 2019 is really exciting for us. We have been given the opportunity to run We Love Golf events. So based on the findings from the 2 pilot projects last year, we are going to be running a series of events with PGA members across the UK and Ireland, starting on International Women's Day, which is the 8th of March. We have 4 events running that day, 1 in each of the home countries. And they're, again, it's the same format, so we're using PR and social media to promote them. We are directing women to taster sessions, free taster sessions at the golf club, and then they will be offered group sessions on the back of that. So yeah, we've got these 4 events in Stirling, Wicklow, Wenvo Castle, and one at the Belfry, where we are actually encouraging Belfry headquarters female members to go and take part in the event there. So that's quite an exciting one. We'll also be doing some activity around the key female events this year. So obviously we have the Solheim Cup and the Women's British Open. So we'll be doing quite a high profile campaign there, recruiting women in the local area and culminating in a big lesson at Woburn, which is very exciting. And then the toolbox will be available to members, hopefully in the next couple of months as well. We'll be at the Open at the Swing Zone where we were last year, having photographs of people with the We Love Golf boards. Lots of different opportunities for members to get involved, but also for us to kind of to attract more women into the game, and that's what this has always been about.
That sounds exceptional. That's brilliant. Well, thank you very much both for that. It's really insightful into the campaign. I think this is the start of something very big, and hopefully it will revolutionise a lot in the golf industry. Thank you both, and then also to anyone listening to this webinar, thank you for listening. Hopefully that's inspired you to get involved with this campaign. All the contact details, all the social media tools are on the slides, so please use them. Please get involved. Please share your success stories. Get in touch with Jonathan and Nicole. I'm sure you guys will be more than happy to help them on their way.
100%. Yeah.
Any final comments to add before we sign off? Or
I mean, I'd just add, it's, you know, all we're really trying to do is shine a light on the great work that the PGA members are already doing, and to help those who maybe have lost a little bit of direction. This is all about trying to make golf better for everybody. So yeah, we'd really welcome any kind of contact from the members.
Completely agree, Nicole. And you know, the more people that get involved, the more people that can share a photo, the more people that can, you know, like the Facebook page, you know, the more power the campaign has and the more it can do for you. So, you know, we really rely on members getting as involved as they can, and hopefully that will make it even bigger and better. So yeah, please do. Please share and like.
Excellent. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing this campaign develop even further. Thank you both.
Many thanks, Tim.